Okay, number 13 on the algebra worksheet, we're solving using the quadratic formula. First thing I need to do with the quadratic formula is identify all the parts. The a value that I'm going to use in the quadratic formula is 4. That's the number that goes in front of a squared. The b value is 3. That's the number that goes in front of the middle term, the x term, not the squared term. And then my c value is negative 22, and that's always going to be my constant. So I'm going to set up what that looks like. X equals negative b. That always means the opposite of b. So it doesn't always mean it's a negative number, it just means it's the opposite of b. So this time it would be negative 3 plus or minus the square root. The next thing is b squared, and I always write down and type in the actual b squared value, which is 9. If it was a negative 3 for b, squared would still be 9. If you skip that step, you might run into issues later. So b squared, and minus 4 times the a value, which was 4, times the c value, which is negative 22, all divided by 2 times a. 2 times a is 2 times 4, so 8. So I try to do the b squared value and the 2 times a the first time I write it down. What I'm going to show you next is how to use that in your calculator. I'm going to say this in each video and show you in each video the same thing. I'm going to use my calculator one way to solve this problem. There are different things you can do. You can type it in differently. If you get correct answers, that's fine. The way that I'm suggesting you type it in will work on almost every single calculator. The 3 main types of calculators you guys have in class, plus the Casios, will all work this way. So that way is to write it out, negative 3 plus the square root of 9 minus 4 times negative 22 divided by a, and, divided by 2a, which is 8. And the way that I'm showing you to work it out is basically just to type in the numerator of the fraction, the top of the fraction, all at once. So negative 3 plus that square root, that's what we're going to do. So negative 3 plus the square root of b squared, which is 9, minus 4 times a times c. And it looks like I did, for b squared, I hit the button too many times. So negative 3 plus the square root of b squared minus 4 times the a value times the c value. Okay, that's all underneath my square root. That's what the parentheses at the beginning is showing. I don't need to close the parentheses. I can just hit enter. So that's 16. So 16 over 8. Don't need my calculator for, that's just 2. So that's one of my solutions. Next, I'm going to use the same formula but with a minus sign. So x equals negative b minus the square root of b squared minus 4 times the a value times the c value over the 2 times 8, which is 8. 2 times a, which was 8. So same thing on the calculator. Negative 3 minus the square root. B squared minus 4 times the a value times the c value is negative 22. Negative 22 over the 8 is negative 2.75. So negative 22 over the 8 divided by 8 is negative 2.75.